What's up there, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Faraway Train. So this is a mystery story based game where you are working your way through train compartments, trying to solve puzzles, and I'm really excited to show you this one. As you can see there in the tagline, end of time, beginning of Earth. This is so much deeper than what I can explain, and I really hope you enjoy this first impressions look at this one. I'm going to be showing you how to get through the first carriage, but we won't be doing any spoilers beyond that point, so please do grab yourself a drink. Let's hit the rails. Right then, guys, first things first, shout out to the publisher for providing the code for this one for me. I'm really excited to show you this one. I'm not getting paid to show you or to give a positive opinion on this game. What I am going to do is to give you my first impressions and a first look at this game as we tackle this one together. So I'm going to hit new game. We're going to hop in and I'm basically going to get started. I'm not going to read out this very first section. You can read it for yourself. What I'm going to say is I have turned off the music just to avoid any copyright strikes here. So usually you'd have some music playing in the background over what it's saying on screen. If you want to take the time to read what it's saying as part of the story, then please do go ahead and do so. I'm not going to delve too much into the background of what this game is about story-wise. What I will say is that you are on a train, you're travelling through what appears to be an endless land. Just to back that up, there is an endless weather system at play and also a day and night cycle. But as it's saying there, you are travelling to what would be a faraway land. And as part of your mission during this game, you are tasked with solving a bunch of different puzzles. And we'll get to those. I'm going to talk to you about how to play the game, what the best approach is to getting started. And as you can see here, the game is now loading. The graphics are really quite nice, and so is the sound as well. And as you can see, we are in our first carriage here, and yeah, we have the opportunity to look around using the mouse. So we can use the mouse to move the camera. We've got the left button to confirm and interact. We've got the right mouse button to cancel or to focus our view. We use the usual keys for moving around. We've got a couple of other keyboard controls. The tab key opens the menu. The shift button is utilized to run and control is crouch. So I'm going to hit back, and as you can see, we now have the opportunity to look around, and this is our first carriage. So yeah, rather nice. We can open the window if we choose, and we can look out, and yeah, you can almost feel the cold chill there, so we'll get that closed. And as we look around, we see there's plenty of things to interact with. So let's go over to the table to start off with, and as soon as you start to highlight an object, it brings up this tutorial just to tell you. You can press the left mouse button, which is the confirm button, with a highlighted object in the center of the screen to interact with it. And basically that lets you read books or open doors or windows. Also lets you gather items as well, which we'll get to. So let's start off by moving over here. Now, initially here, what we have is a table, and it has some items on it from this gentleman here. And we'll pick up his picture to start off with. And we see there he's called Graham the Historian. So we're going to see some information, some notes from him. I'm going to put his picture back down by right-clicking. I'm going to move across to this document and hit the left button. And there's a bunch of information here as an introduction. You can see there's quite a lot to read, so please do so at your own leisure. I'm not going to delve massively into the story, but what I will say is that straight away, guys, the one thing that you want to be looking for is numbers. And we'll come to why that's important. But you can see here, initially, it's talking about... sorry, I've just closed that by accident. We'll come back to that. Right, okay, it's telling us here... if you pick up a document, it is then available to you in your tab menu. And once you've collected all the documents inside a carriage, it's then that particular carriage name is surrounded by a border. Right, back to the document then. So it's telling us here that there was once a mighty empire that flourished for more than 900 years. Now, if you quickly scan that, you'll see there's no other numbers there. What I will say is that's probably the most important thing. It goes on to say that basically there was, you know, a number of issues here where basically war broke out, and it says that the hearts of the people were thrown into chaos and confusion. And we'll come to this again. I'm going to go back for now. What I will say is your very first mission in this game, really, your first part of call is to collect as much information as possible and get it into your tab menu. Now, speaking of the tab menu, if you hit tab, you firstly get this function screen where you can save. You can also see your controls. You can go back to the title screen. You can end the game. You've got options as well where you can do things like turn the music off. You've also got screen controls. You can see I've got it on the highest settings. Documents wise, we have here the highlighted conductor carriage. We've got one document so far, the end of the empire, and this is the one that we just looked at. We've also got maps. We've got a chronology, which we don't have anything in there at the moment. We've also got characters. So far we've picked up one photograph, which is of Graham the historian. Right, I'm going to hit back for now. I'm also going to pick up this key, which I can pick up and take. So you click on it once, click on it again, and basically we would then go into the tab menu to access the items that we're currently carrying, and we can use that, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. We'll also pick up this document here. We'll put that into our inventory again. So you see here, it doesn't mention anything about dates here. I'm going to go back again. We've got another book here, which is a fragment of imperial history, and again some dates. We'll come to all this. I'm just going to, for the time being, pick up documents, pick up books, get them into my tab menu. Have we got any others on that shelf there? We do have a box here which is locked. Now, we did just pick up a key, so I'm going to hit tab and get the black key and then click on the box. That opens it. And we are hit with a code here, 532. Okay, we'll bear that in mind. 532. Right. I think we're done with the table there. We've got a bin here, which don't think has anything in it. Got some more pictures on the wall, a hat. We'll open this here. See there's a toilet here. We can flush it if we want. We can lift up the lid, seat, etc. And close this door as well should we choose. There's a note over here. I'll just hit this. We'll come back to that again in just a moment. Like I said, to get you started, you want to just pick up as much stuff as possible because you're going to need it all. What else do we have here? We've got a key here. We'll take that. And again, beautiful scenery outside. Right, let's head this way. We'll close that. We've got a map here. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Beautiful picture. Again, more pictures. We've got a lamp. There's some documents here. We'll pick this up. Do not believe anything said by one whom you believe to be correct. Okay. Again, we're going to read this. Now, we're going to start to take note of this. This doesn't say anything about numbers, but it does say the Empress is said to have fallen in, aptly enough, full moon. Alright. So, that is an important factor, but we'll come back to it again in just a moment. It's best just to collect at this point. So we've got another box that is locked. So you did notice that we had a key, a small key. If we click on that, we can then open this and we can read this document that says numerals during the age of the empire. So 0 equals 0, or O equals 0. V is 1 and L is 4. So just bear that in mind. We'll get that closed. We've got another little cupboard down here and a safe. So if you remember a moment ago, we picked up a note that said 532. We just picked up a note that told us what the numerals are for the specific empire. So 532 would be, well, V is 1, 2 V's is 2, 3 V's is 3, then we've got L, which is 4. So LV is 5. So that's our first number, 5, 3, and 2. And that should now open. So that's quite straightforward so far. We've got a book here that talks about various months. Now we just heard full moon, which is the 11th month. We'll come back to that. What else have we got? Got a picture here, which is the final empress. We've got basically a ring, and we have got as well here a key. Let's see if I can pick this up. Right, so we'll take that, we'll close that and all that as well. So this door is locked. Now we do have a key, and this is labelled the door key, so we can use that to open it. So we are out of there, and as you can see, guys, what a beautiful view. Right, we've got a picture of a ship here saying the journey begins, and this door is locked. Now I'm assuming that that's heading towards the locomotive. We've got another map here. Now we've got a map there, which is the world map, and we've got a map here, which is the imperial capital map. Now if you hit tab and go into your maps, you'll see that you've got those two options: imperial city, imperial capital, and also the world map. Alright, so far so good, guys. You're still with me? Right. We've now got a picture of a black attire and a door here which you can't do anything with. Now I'm pretty sure there, when I hit tab and go documents, that we've got everything. In fact, this is outlined now with a nice little border, and that identifies the fact that we've collected everything. What we do have here is a door. Now it's a 5-digit code that's needed to go through this door. Now I'm going to go back into my documents here, and I'm going to go to the one labelled goal. It says investigate the year of abdication, and I'm going to read this out. It says, I have uncovered one important thing. Since being trapped in this rail riding nightmare, the year and months corresponding to milestones in the life of the final empress have proven to be the keys to forward progress. You must piece together her life. You must piece her life back together from the fragments of this chaos. You can start by researching the year and month of her dethronement by year and month. Okay, so it's going to be year first, followed by the month. So that tells me out of 5 digits, the last 2 digits are going to be the month, meaning the first 3 digits of the year. So insert the 5-digit number into the door at the rear of the carriage, and you should be able to continue down the train. So we know the month because it told us. So we're going to look back through these notes and determine what that 5-digit code is. So first, we've got a slapdash memo here, which doesn't really tell us anything. Now I'm going to quickly skim read this and remind myself. So it's just telling us here just some background info. Read that at your own leisure. The end of the empire. So this introduction here was telling us again that the empire flourished for more than 900 years. It's not really important, that one. That's just a sort of gives us some frame of time by which this is taking place. The founding of Erdeline. Now this is important. So in the year 766 of the Rush, I don't know how to pronounce that, Rushe imperial calendar, a brave commander called Erdeline, I'm assuming that I'm pronouncing that correctly, rose up from among the barbarian nations of the West to achieve their unification. He gave his own name to the newly formed kingdom, marking year 1 of the Urdaline history. The empire was quick to send emissaries, acknowledging the formation of the nation and celebrating new stability in the region. Now, the two numbers there, the 766, are important. So we know there's a starting point here of the Urdaline taking over the Urdaline history. And it didn't actually take over in the year 766. In the year 7066, it was the 1 year anniversary. So it actually started in the year 765. Right, so that is an important point. Remember 765, that's the founding of the Urdaline. Right, we've also got some information here, and this again is really important. So it is generally believed that the empire fell with the death of Emperor Gastrop, with the years that followed described as nothing but chaos. However, I have uncovered that there were actually 2 more emperors beyond that point, with each with extremely short reigns. Even the date of the dethroning of the final emperor, or in this case the final empress, is unclear. So here we go. The absolute chaos that ruled human society in the period around it, likely due to the usage of the magical device, means that historical documents, indeed the very minds of all humans, were scattered and lost. However, then I miraculously happened across a certain diary. Then I miraculously happened across a certain diary. A diary written by a general from the enemy kingdom of Ardaline in 220 of the Ardaline history. Right, so let's bear in mind the Urdaline history started in 765. There was a diary written by a general from the enemy kingdom in 220. So if you add that on to 765, this diary was actually found in the year 985 of the, is it Rushi timeline? And it dealt with his involvement in the work 20 years previously. Right, so 985 minus 20 is 965. Okay, that's the year that we're looking for. It says here, it dealt with his involvement in the work 20 years previously to remove the crystal ball hanging in the throne room of the occupied imperial city of Riddle, a symbolic gesture to mark the end of the Empress and her empire. So the year that her reign ended was 965. That's the year of her death. Okay, we've got the 965. So let's actually, before we do anything else, let's punch that in. So we've got a 0 here. Now we can just go back 1 for 9, which is 2 L's and a V, which is 4, 4 and 1, 9. Right, 9, 6, so we can count up or down. Let's go up. 4, 5, 6. 5, sorry. 6. There we go. And then 5. There we go. So that just leaves the month, because it told us to put the years first and then the month. So let's hit tab again. Let's find out what was the month. So the month, see what this is. That's the safe code. So the month of her fall. The Empress is said to have fallen in aptly enough full moon. I have discovered that from the remains of a soldier's letter. Okay. It mentioned how when the cathedral bell and crystal ball both fell, the streets of the capital were red. Alright, so she fell in full moon. Now, the ancient months are listed here, and we see the 11th month is full moon. So that means that she died in the 11th month. And you can see it suddenly got dark. Wow. We'll hit that. There's something wrong. Right, what have I done wrong here? 9. 6, 5. Ah, that one. I thought I'd moved that one. There we go. So we are through to the second carriage, guys. And I'm not going to be doing any further coverage of this game beyond this point. What I would say is, first impressions wise, I find this game to be beautiful in some ways, mysterious, a little bit harrowing in some ways, but also a bit heavy in terms of puzzle. Like, maybe check it out for yourself, see what you think. I was able to do this first puzzle, obviously, but it requires quite a lot of, I think you need a pad and pen to be able to really sort it out, to be able to figure out the numbers. But anyway, that's my first impressions, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, it's pitch black outside now. I'll say that much. And yeah, a little bit worrying, a little bit mysterious. But otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoyed it regardless. I myself am going to be cracking on through this door now and seeing what else is beyond here. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do hit the like button. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you'd go ahead and do that. But otherwise, guys, please do take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you guys again soon.